Okay, welcome back. Yeah, welcome back to what is... I'm just checking my audio levels here on the fly. They look okay. So this is a quick recap before I go to bed. And it's exciting. But first, we do need I have a quick, not sponsored, but an important segment. If you've been listening to any of the music behind these recaps, maybe here and there, the content creator in question, Shadow at Noon, she is doing a charity event. So I want to plug this because when was the last time you guys gave to charity? I bet it wasn't recent enough. So twitch.tv/Shadow at Noon, hit the about page, and there will be a link to the drive. Click donate, and you're supporting for Extra Life, which is I think it's a charity drive across NA, but it's a good cause. Children's Miracle Network, excellent cause, especially in a pandemic. It's a good time to get involved. And I mean, there is a pandemic on, but just a quick shout out there if you do feeling generous and you haven't claimed any bounties in the Rebel.net for a while. Feel free to give that a link. But anyway, on to the recap. And this week it is all action. Everyone dropped points in the top 3. It's a huge, huge deal, as I checked that. Yes, we are still recording. Excellent. So yeah, I'm excited. We take a look at week 10's results, and this is the headline results. First place at the end of last week, Auto loses in the mirror to what is now a 3rd place Noobster team. And this is in spite of having a good 200 extra points worth of skills on the team, still managed to find a loss, which is an absolute dagger to the division chances of Portese. And yeah, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, Noobster did take some damage here. Armor Busted White isn't too hot. What's interesting is the... Wait, hold up. Oh, whoa. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, I think I accidentally started a bot there. But anyway, we fixed it. So yeah, what I was saying, this game, honestly, kind of a weird one. Because when you look at the statistics on this game, actually no, you say that, you can start to understand where you see this discrepancy here, 45 versus 60, which led in turn to 10 versus 16, which then led, however, oddly enough, 10 breaks into 2 removals. Yet we had 16 breaks into 7. So 16 into 7 versus 10 into 2. Now, raw statistics are a very poor way of looking at games like this. But in the mirror, you have to wonder, you could definitely argue, and I think the argument is to make the underdog team outperformed. They found more hits, which is usually the ideal in these matchups. You want to hit more than the opponent so you create your own luck, and I think that is probably what happened here, in that the Wolves Need No Armor team made their own luck with the breaks. They got more hits in, got more knockdowns, and therefore found some KOs. But either way, however it happened, this is a big shot in the division. So it's a very exciting game. And yet there's more. As second from last, Pyro TJ wins 2-0 against what was 3rd place, Octo Chicken, in an elf mirror. Now this is, I would say, probably a bit more of a predictable result because they did have a lightning bolt in play, which is often the difference in these matchups. And you also look at this high up team, and there's 2 agility 5 pieces there, one with leap. And there is also a movement up sprint piece. So Pyro should have all the tools to win these matchups. And lo and behold, they did, and then did in fact get a level on this guy for sure feet or block. We'll see what they take. Who knows, maybe a second movement up to get that coveted movement 10 sprint. Who knows? Yeah, lots of SPP there for the High Elf team. However, Octochicken did not lose anything. I believe this is an MNG, which is acceptable. But yeah, a setback for the Wood Elves that puts them out of first place contention, I would say. Although we do see here that in 22 blocks they found 18 breaks for the Elven Guard, which is kind of insane when you think about it. Kind of insane. That must involve Wood Elves falling over and failing to dodge. That must be what happened. But 18 breaks is really good. But Octochicken find the worst possible time to take a result like this. An absolute dagger once again. Meanwhile, Bets ends any post-season hopes that Hoglass had. We're really getting into the nitty-gritty here. It's Bets comes back with a huge win, a season-ending win against this Undead team, which is a very impressive result when you consider how badly they started this season. They managed to be a kingmaker and absolutely ruin the chances of this Undead team of making the post-season with 3 games to play. Absolute disaster. Although they did get 2 level ups out of it, so improvement for next season, definitely. They did lose their only Sure Hands piece, but they did get an Agility 4 piece in recompense. So I'm sure they'll be happy with this piece dying, because this guy will just take the reins, I imagine. But yeah, 4 Kaz here for the humans, 2 SPP each on all of the rookie blitzers. You love to see it. Jin gets what I assume is going to be Mighty Blow, maybe a Stand Firm level up. But yeah, a huge win on the cards for the humans, so very well played to Bets. Definitely a long, rough season for them. Third shock result of the week, I can only find a draw against the last place Orc team that lost to the bye week. Once again, I just felt like I just got bullied. My 1 guard piece lasted about 5 turns and then was injured. It came down to I had to make a passing play, a long pass. No, just a short pass, but a short pass with an intercept threat to not lose. That is exactly what it came down to. But I did it. Somehow I got very lucky, as usual, and secured a 1-1 when the Orcs had really done a number on me. I mean, look at these Kaz. It just rolled me off the pitch. Quite literally. If you check the blocks, you know, out hit me, out block me. 15 block. I think this is the thing. 15 blocks into 16 breaks. That kind of sums it up. The fouling game was strong and on point. Really brutal stuff. I couldn't keep the momentum going, sadly. I did finally get a Rotter MVP, although they are now niggled, so that's kind of sad. But we go again, I suppose. And I got a Nug Warrior level for some extra guard. Thank goodness, I needed that. But yeah, this was a really rough game. I'm very lucky to get out of it. Regen saved me hard. Like, I could have lost a couple more pieces here if Regen didn't bail me out. So yeah, very well played to Maki Sali. A strong result against the playoff contention team, so they'll be very happy with a point there. The same, I played this game and was absolutely heartbroken. I was like, my season is over. I'm going to retire the team. My mental was just all over the place. But then the other 2 teams around me also dropped points, so I came out ahead. Blood Splatter, the well-known rat coach, takes an admin win, and not an easy fixture. And I'm not even being rude, because the Orc team, if you remember, did lose to the bye week. So the fact that you're able to beat the bye week is quite impressive, and I'm not being sarcastic. Moreover, we see a thrower level up. Now it'll be interesting to see what they take here, because they already got the double, or I think it was extra arms, which is the perfect double. And I wonder if they can find maybe a strong arm, or maybe a big hand, or something. Something exciting. We'll find out what they take. Moving down the table, Lord of the Ribs take a really nasty loss, but I think a predictable one against a beefy Chaos team. As you can see, block across the board, meaning the trees could not get much going, although they did find a Kaz on Morg and 2 Kaz here. And a level. But yeah, Morg deep root, not enough against such reckless claw. Although they weren't taken off the pitch, has to be said. Not much you can do against 6766, even if you are a Chaos Minotaur. Let's just hear it. Chaos got 27 hits into 11 breaks, whereas the Halflings got 43 into 13, and that is a direct look at having block versus not having block. Because a lot of these Lord of the Rings hits probably didn't knock down, whereas the Chaos Black Nightmares were knocking down a lot into armor 6, and of course found 11 breaks. Which did only get them 4 Kaz and 1 KO, but that is enough to do the job against this Halfling team. So well played to Nicholas. Difficult matchup, but they did overcome it. Mr. Gorky is going to need to win now to stay in the Stunty Cup, I think, because Sky Blue Monty, the legendary player in Australia, is making a charge and has overtaken them. So they pretty much need to win and then draw out. They can't afford another loss. If they lose again, they're probably out of everything, after what was a very promising start to this season. Finally, Alethea takes a 1-1 against Barrier. Super, both teams will not be happy with this result. This puts them both behind both Octochicken and Noobster, with Octochicken of course having a bye week in hand. Nasty stuff here. A bloody game, lots of casualties on either side, as I find some words. It is kind of late for me. So I'm going to be heading to bed the moment this finishes rendering, as you can see. Stumbling over my words. But a little bit of SPP all the way. Thrall dies, kind of sad. Groin strain, broken ribs. That might be a niggling injury. That's going to be a shame on the kick piece. Is what it is though. A classic game of Blood Bowl 2. Lots of death, you love to see it. Okay, so let's look at some skill ups. Let's start right here, right now. We have Alethea with 2 level ups here, both on blitzers, so very exciting stuff. Did they take them? Yes. They find an extra tackle. And then Ridthel, another tackle, so we have 4 tackle on the team. This is really getting very well rounded now. I think I personally would have taken maybe sidestep or diving tackle on this guy. But tackle first is also a very good skill. Dodge tackle 7348 block dodge tackle is a very good piece on its own. So yeah, this elf team looking decent. We have 130k in the bank, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players on the roster, which is a lot for an elf team. They will be very tempted, especially if they don't lose anyone next week, to take it to 12 players. I think I would do that myself, because with elves, a bench is almost like cheating. So something to consider there. Depends how big they want to get. But otherwise, team's looking really good. Next up we have, not this one. Here we go, let's go back to the top. No levels. We'll see if they fired the white. That would be an interesting one. Did they fire the white? Wrong link. There we go. It doesn't look like they have. Well, they have, yeah, they fired and instantly replaced the white, which makes sense. Cool, good to know. I think the rest of the team is fully unchanged. Yeah, like everyone else has played at least 1 game. Cool. And Portoso, I believe there'll be no changes here unless he's hired someone, which I doubt. Next up, let's look at the Halfling game. We've got a tree level up, let's see what that is. Hoping for block. And they do get a block tree, that's good. That means you can cycle. I think I would probably cycle out this guy. The Grav multi-block guy. I don't know, they have been getting a little bit of value out of it, but you want block. Block is just so much better than normal. Movement Busted Fling not fired yet. That is because they are flat out of money. They need all the bodies they can find. But importantly, the dirty player is still on the team. I think they'll be looking to cycle out this catch sprint, and then because you can't, I don't think you can afford a dirty player and also a catch sprint fling. I think that's a little bit too much team value. But when you're in Division 4, sometimes it doesn't even matter because the teams are so built that you get, you know, what's the difference between 1,140 and 1,170? You know, it's not a big deal when you get to the big games. Aside from that, we have a level up on the Sprint Beast. I always like checking in on this team because you never know what they're going to take, and they get more extra arms. If in doubt, extra arms, apparently. Imagine if all these were claw, right? Imagine if all of these extra arms picks were claw picks or wrestle. I think that'd be a very interesting way to go, but more extra arms, it's a very interesting team and something you have to really think about as an opposition coach as you go into the fixture. Because they literally have threats all over the pitch. Let's check the thrower level. I don't know if they'll have taken it, and they haven't. That's because it's a bye week, they wouldn't have logged on, but hopefully next week we get to see what that thrower level is and if they survive the day. I'll take a look at my team because I found 2 level ups there. And this is what the team looks like going into next week. So yeah, a movement bus on my killer. But I have a second killer, and I don't mind the movement bust on this guy because he has jump up. So I'm not going to feel the reduction too much, assuming he survives. But this guy is definitely like, I'm going to be throwing him in quite aggro from here on out because we have someone else in the pipeline. And I wouldn't mind taking the team value cuts sometimes, we'll see. Otherwise I find a dirty player piece at long last. The problem is they are going to be taking more damage themselves, but the ideally they never take damage. So I think I'm going to keep them for a little bit. I also might need the players because I am in spiralling expenses here. And I need all the bench I can get. I've been really struggling to keep players on the team. The guy I hired very recently, where are we? This guy. I hired him for last week's game and he died on the first block he took. So that kind of tells you my luck with rotters. But yeah. The other team has no change. Cool. That game is done. Ah, here we go, a few levels here for the undead, see what they take. So they have a mummy and a white. The white gets more mighty blow, perfect. Finally we get there. And the mummy gets break tackle. That's cool. That's a very smart pickup. You now have an Agi 5 threat, if you can get him in front of the ball. I think a lot of people take stand firm there, just to get the second stand, like 1 stand firm you can play around, but 2 stand firm gets harder to play around once you get 2 or 3 of the stand firm. It turns into like you can really front up and force them to get blocks. Like I know this because I'm playing in a clan with Amazons and I have 3 stand firm on the team, and you can get them in. You can, like 1 stand firm you can be annoying with, but 3 you can stop a drive with. So something to think about there. But more break tackle is better break tackle. And finally they get 2 more mighty blows. This team's going to start killing even faster, which is excellent news. Then Bets just gets 1 level, and we'll see what they took. They took mighty blow, which I think is very smart to pick up. Very well done there. You want to increase your removal potential here as humans in those elf matchups, in those halfling matchups. You really want to be picking up those games against tier 3 and 4 where they have a lot of dodge and stunty. You really want to pick those up, so getting that extra mighty blow tackle is good, and it's also good against the agility matchup because at the moment you don't have much guard, so you have to try and kill them, which is a difficult task. Now this is one of the exciting parts. We get to see what the Glass Jaw has picked up here. They do take Sure Feet, dedicated 1 turning piece. I like it. Some people would say block, but I agree with the Sure Feet there myself. Apart from that, they're kind of sitting pretty, these guys. It is very rare that you see 11 high elves on the roster, so you want to cherish this. It won't last long. Octo Chicken finds no level ups, and that is quite sad, but we move on to that being it. Perfect. Let's take a look at the table real quick. As you can see, 10 games played, 3 games left to play. There's a bye week each for myself and Portoso and for Octo Chicken. So what you want to be doing is adding 3 points to our scores here. So I should be on 24, 23 and 19 respectively. So as you can see, the halfling teams and everything below are almost certainly out of Challengers contention because they are 5 points behind effectively, because this is a bye week. So you will need to win all 3 of your last, like 2 of your last 3, and have everyone else lose out. So very difficult for these 3 teams to get this 3rd place, but they are still mathematically in the hunt, so good luck to you guys because you're definitely going to need it. What is closer is Alethea with the Rolling Renegades. Now these guys are at 3 points back, again remembering this bye week, so they will need to outperform their opponents, but they're still in the hunt. Who is in the driving seat right now? Well, it is myself, mainly because Borzoso and Octochicken still need to play, right? Whereas I still need to play the Halfling team. Now Halflings are a very good matchup into Nurgle because I can't really fight them that well. I just need to hope that I kill a Halfling every turn and that they mess up. That is entirely my game plan. So there's a good chance that I don't win next week. But at the same time, I would say there's also a good chance that Octochicken beats Borzoso whenever they play. So it's all to play for still, it's very tight at the top. And in here, having won the mirror is Noobster. Level on points with Octochicken in theory, but with a 5 touchdown deficit on the other 2 teams. So it's all going to come down to these last 3 games, and all 4 of these top teams are definitely in with a shout. 2 points separates 1st from 4th. Now that is an exciting finish with 3 games to play. So let's look at these 3 games to play, shall we? Next week, we have Noobster versus Ratus Miserables. Now this is going to have to be the start of something special if Bloodsplatter wants to defy all odds and all recappers and make the post-season with his team. He will need to win, and nothing else is needed here. And Noobster also needs to win, lest he falls behind in the race, because as you see, Octochicken is picking up the bye week, and Borzoso is picking up probably a win against Michaelis, the bottom Chaos team. Not quite bottom, where are they? Michaelis, 9th place Chaos. So I think I am going to predict for this game 1330 versus Skaven with a Wizard. You could never write off. This is the thing, you can never write off a team when you have 0 tackle, and you're running into essentially the perfect counter matchup with Skaven with a Wizard. It is very Skaven favoured, but this is a Skaven team that likes to take mercenary rat ogres as inducements, so it's very difficult to predict them to win games. That said, I think now that we're down to it now, the Skaven can't afford to mess around much longer. Well, no, they can't afford to mess around at all, so I think they will play properly, and I think they will probably win the game. They will probably win the game if they play properly. That is a big if, because Bloodsplatter loves the drama and the pathos of Blood Bowl. They might just decide to carry on with their drama, and I wish them all power, whatever direction they want to take, because I'm sure it'll be fun to watch and hear about afterwards in the next recap. Let's dip back. So I am predicting the Skaven with the caveat that I don't know what mindset they are going to take to the game. Hopefully they're going to take the try hard mindset, but they might not, and fair enough if you don't. Myself versus Mr. Agorki, again, the Halflings need to win, and I need to not die, and also probably also win. If I win, I think I'm guaranteed post-season, but I really want playoffs, so yeah, I think I just need to win. They're going to have, I'm probably going to buy a bench, so I'm probably, let's say I go to 1590, 900, 1000, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, they're going to get 700, that is, and they're at home, so they're definitely going to get more Deep Root Chef. Oh, I don't know how to call this. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think what's going to happen is whoever wins will attack, the defending team will hide on the back line and just concede as opposed to not having their team face rolled in either case. Although I might not, because do I take the bye week? Yes, I take the bye week next week so I can afford to take some MNGs, and I know that I'll have the bye week to get them back, so I think I might end up having to take an active defense. I think I'm going to predict myself, but it's going to be more Deep Root Tree Chef. I'm going to have no rerolls going up against like 3 stand firm and a Morgenthau who's probably going to be carrying the ball. I have 1 goat who can kill things. Everything else doesn't have claw. God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. If you look, I have 1 tackle. I do have a lot of mighty blow, but nothing of it has tackle. So I'm going to have to base all the halflings and hope they all die. And if they don't all die, then it sucks to be me. I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. I don't think I can beat this team. And Mr. Gorg, mainly because Mr. Gorg is a top caliber coach. If this was just a random halfling coach, I'd predict myself, but having seen the season records that these halflings have, I can't predict myself in good faith. Next up, we have Alethea needing to pick up a win here against the undead. How much tackle does this undead have? It has 2, but none of it with the killers. So that's going to be an interesting thing. They do have 1 stand firm and 4 guard. And they don't have sure hands because they had to fire that ghoul. But that ghoul died even. So that might be a problem. But then again, there's no strip ball on this elf team. Tough one. I think I'm going to predict Alethea because again, like urgency, like they need to win. Whereas Hoglass is essentially playing for development. So I think that competitive edge will go to the higher Dark Elf team of Alethea. Next up again, these teams are both out and are playing strictly to survive and develop the teams if they want to keep them. So it's very difficult to predict this game. I think it will be a high scoring game. I think the High Elves will win because they have a 1-turner and the Vampires don't. But I think it'll be very high scoring, 4-5, 6-5. I think if anything less than, I'm expecting like 10, no, 10 is too many. If there's less than 7 touchdowns this game, I'll be very disappointed in both teams. I want to see a shootout. Nicholas versus Portoso. I think you have to predict Portoso here based on the form book. That said, there will be a big disparity in team value, but most of that is in a 250k Minotaur, which is the backbone and also simultaneous bane of this team. Bear in mind that the one of the claw pieces on this team is out and one of the guard is out, so it's going to be very difficult for Nicholas to find a win. They might well find a draw because the killing white is also out, so both teams quite weak at the moment. And on balance, the chaos are quite. This is where the chaos benefit from being so wide. Like everything has at least block, whereas, well, I say that this Necro team is also quite wide. There's a lot of wrestle in play here on the zombies. I don't understand the wrestle myself because you're movement 4. I really don't understand that. Maybe 1, but having 3 wrestle feels like a lot. I think it's so they don't take repeated blocks on the LOS, but at the same time, like, oh, I don't know. I think I understand it. I think if there's any more than 3 wrestle, I'd be weirded out, but 2 of them's on the, it's kind of weird. I guess you're bringing them down so you can foul, but at the same time you don't want to be doing that. You want to be blitzing for damage, and a good coach won't give you random wrestle hits, so I don't really... I understand the combo, but I don't think as you get higher up the pyramid, I don't think it's going to pay off as much, but that might just be me. I'm going to predict Portoso. I think Portoso's got the skill, they've got the class, and they have the necessity to win, that they will pull through. Oxy Chicken will get 3 points, and finally Betts will play Maki Sali. And this is a game the humans have been dreading all season, because the Orcs are pretty much just them, but better. I say that, but again, a critical miss next game here. The Agi 4 Blitzer, who really was levelling the playing field, has had to skip this game. I think I put that on them, yeah. I almost killed them. I killed them, but it got AFO'd to an MNG, so that was my contribution to your season bets. I took out their best piece before you played them, so best of luck. They do have a movement 4 Ogre, which is really sad, but they can't fire them. That is tragic. But they only have 2 guard going into this Orc team. It's difficult. 2 guard versus 2 guard, there is strength 5 in play. Lots of dodge, but there's also a fair bit of tackle, mighty blow on this human team. I think I'm going to predict the humans here. I think Betts is going to pick up another win and carry on a really good vein of late season form and set them up for next season. Hopefully with a bit more guard on the blitzers. Fingers crossed. That wraps up Week 11's predictions, and that also wraps up the recap. I'm going to go to bed. No, I won't. I will render it and then go to bed, most likely. That'll be me. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I'll catch you all next week. Goodbye.